The space race. The race between the two biggest powers in the world at the time, the United States of America and the Soviet Union. However, many other countries were involved in the space race, many countries getting involved with their own programs, research and technology, which is perfectly understandable. However, there is another country that had a horse in the race, which many people didn't expect or didn't even know was happening. I'm talking about the one time that Zambia had their own space program. Yep, let's get into it today. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and today we're talking about the Zambian space mission, which began in 1964. Oh boy, oh howdy. The country of Zambia was originally a British protectorate in northern Rhodesia, taking its name from the Zambezi River, hence the name Zambia. Zambia was formed on the 24th of October 1964, and for a country having gained newfound independence, this was not only a strange time for the people of Zambia, but also the world, given that the Cold War was now in full swing. Two clashing ideologies fighting for technological dominance of the stars. Yes, this is all pretty high-flying stuff, and you'd imagine for a country like Zambia, a space program is probably not something on their agenda. However, for a newly fledgling country, why not reach for the stars? Quite literally. I mean, yes, Zambia's annual GDP in 1964 was only $839 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. But how did this all come about? Well, we actually have to go back a few years prior, just before Zambia gained its independence, to a man called Edward Makuka Colosso, a science teacher and the self-appointed director of Zambia's unofficial National Academy of Science, Space Research and Philosophy. Yes, unofficial. He started this by stating that such a space program was in the national interest, aiming to beat both the US and the USSR to the moon during the heights of the space race. So, from the 1960s onwards, he would start his mission with the ultimate goal of sending a 17-year-old called Matha Mwamba and two cats to the moon. Dream big, people. Whilst the country of Zambia wasn't yet a fully independent country of Zambia, they weren't far off, and the space program started in order to try and train the future astronauts of Zambia to be able to ready to be launched pretty much once the country gained its independence. As a matter of fact, they were so confident that this would work, they even said that after going to the moon, they would also go for Mars as well. Because, like I say, dream big, people. To train the astronauts, Colosso set up a makeshift facility on an abandoned farm in which he instructed trainees to be rolled down the hill in giant oil drums. Nope, I'm not lying to you, this is exactly what they did. They put their future astronaut trainees in these giant oil drums, rolled them down the hill, then experienced the G-forces like you're hurtling through space, because I'm pretty sure that simulation is absolutely exactly what it's going to be like. This is a great way to train your astronauts on a shoestring budget, but he stated that the reason behind this was to train his future astronauts to feel the weightlessness in both space travel and re-entry from space. Sorry, I didn't mean to say astronauts. I meant Afronauts, because that is what they were aptly called, the future of Zambia's space program, the Afronauts, which I think that they should probably be called that anyway, but there we are. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of this training exercise. I think it's a great way to train your astronauts to go to space. Although, I mean, I can't imagine many times where you might accidentally hurtle your space shuttle into a river because you're rolling an oil drum down a hill which might go in a river. Look, I'm just trying to be realist here. This is all fascinating stuff, and these training aims were apparently legitimate. But I know what you're asking. Why on earth did they think that this was such an important endeavour for the Zambian people? He stated that his goal was to establish a Christian ministry to primitive Martians, and hoped that Zambia would become the controllers of the seventh heaven of interstellar space. Well, when you put it like that, then anything's possible. He did clarify and say that the astronauts wouldn't be forcing their Christian beliefs on the Martians, which is nice of them. But I think this is all secondary when you probably discover that intelligent life exists elsewhere, and you'd probably be asking many other questions before asking if they've ever read the Bible. But you never know. Maybe the Martians are out doing the same thing. Maybe they are also spreading the word of Space Jesus, and you guys might be singing from the same hymn sheet and you don't even know it. For the mission itself, a rocket was built named the d-kalu 1, a 3 metre by 2 metre, 10 foot by 6 foot drum-shaped vessel. It was claimed that this rocket was made out of a space-worthy aluminium and copper material. So, we have a group of highly trained astronauts ready to go on this space mission. You have this very, very reliable looking spacecraft, which is apparently space-worthy, and on the day of the upcoming Day of Independence for Zambia, the 24th of October 1964, he planned to have his launch into space. The launch, however, was cancelled due to the fact that it was classed as inappropriate. Colosso then continued to try and push his agenda by seeking a grant of 7 million Zambian dollars and then a further $1.9 billion from private foreign sources. But his requests were rejected due to the fact that he was not acting on behalf of Zambia. Basically, they realised that this was just one guy trying to roll people down hills in giant oil drums. So, pretty much due to the fact that there was a lack of funding for the project, it eventually shut down, unfortunately. But Colosso would go on and say that the actual reason this happened was due to the fact that people didn't believe in his vision, and also that apparently, without any evidence to prove it, the spaceship that he had was sabotaged. The Zambian government in recent years has taken steps to try and distance themselves from this program. As to any affiliation they had, I can't tell you, but it is a sad, sad world when we can't have one man in his dreams to take his people to space and to the moon and to Mars, and you know what, just go anywhere you want. The world's your oyster. Or shall I say, the galaxy. So yeah, that was the one time that Zambia tried, and I put stress on tried, to go to space. So, if you liked that video, here's another just like it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.